We spent several months in the Southwest camping in some beautiful BLM land. In between camping, we had to take our RV in for some repairs. And I didn't record the repairs because boring. Once we got the RV back and put things in order, we went on towards the Grand Canyon. During our time in that area, we stopped at a place called Arcosanti, which is an experimental arcology town. First off, though, is some footage of the BLM areas we were able to stay in Nevada and Arizona. These were in between repairs, but before we were ready to set off on our next destination. If you don't know, BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management. Quite often, and especially in the Southwest U.S., there are primitive campsites that you can camp in for free. It's usually first come, first serve, and you typically have a 14-day limit that you're allowed to stay. So this is in Lake Mead, which is in a national park about 45 minutes outside of Las Vegas. It's about $25 per car, and then you get like a 7-day limit on that. But we stayed at Kingman Wash, which is their free camping. There are pay-for sites also available in Lake Mead. We bought the America the Beautiful Pass for $80, which gives us entry into all U.S. national parks for a year. It's worth it in my opinion. We only had to pay for that. Then the camping was free, obviously. The area is beautiful, and there's lakes that you can recreate on, but we didn't drive down that far this time. So this is one of the BLM campsites in Lake Havasu, Arizona. It was also beautiful and peaceful to stay here. This is not as near the lake as the previous campsite, but for a free campsite, it's close enough as the lake is like a 10-minute drive from the site. There's lots of space between the sites, which is really nice. So after the repairs to our RV were finished, we packed everything back into the RV and we headed towards the Grand Canyon. On the way to the Grand Canyon, we stopped at Arcosanti, which is the arcology community that I spoke about earlier. I'll drop a link in the description for more information on that.
So the workshop program's awesome. You get to do a little bit of everything. Like you make a couple ceramic bells, you make a bronze tile and see that whole process. You spend time with our sustainability department and our ag department, and like you get some wonderful lectures from some architects from the school and from architects like Tonyaki, who's been around in New Solari since before Arcosanti ever existed. You get some wonderful private tours of other buildings that Solari's designed. You go on a field trip, you go to Taliesin, like I'm leaving out so many things, and you get that whole social experiment of like living here for 6 weeks and get to immerse yourself in that. So we have all kinds of celebrations and like get-togethers. Like on Sunday we're having conviviality, it's a nice dinner, or like it's a brunch we're gonna have with all the workshoppers that just came this last week, and yeah, it's a special program. And then at the end of the 6-week workshop, if there's a job that's available that you're interested in, you can apply for that, and then you write a letter of intent to the community, and you present it at the next community council meeting, and then the community gets to decide if you're coming in or not. Enough about that. I guess a little bit more about Paolo Solari. I know they touched on him a bit in the video, but a little bit more. He came from Italy to study under Frank Lloyd Wright. And if you're familiar with Frank Lloyd Wright and his thoughts on how things should be built in the United States, he believed kind of in the American dream where every family has their own acre and their own dwelling. And Solari did not agree with this. He not only thought it was dividing people socially, but it was also just a waste of a lot of natural resources. So his solution in response to that urban sprawl method, Solari's, was to start building in and up. So he started designing arcologies. So it's architecture meets ecology, for his structures to be more in harmony with the earth, and just what he sees as a city that just makes more sense actually with how human beings can live. And so So he also talked a lot about designing cities that were not built just to be around the automobile being the main mode of transportation. So that's like everything here is walkable and like 3D.
So one of Arcosanti's main sources of income is bell making. It's done by many of the residents. The community lives and works together and shares many of the responsibilities as well as the spaces. Most spaces are designed for multi-use, having living spaces as well as community spaces in the same building. So after visiting Arcosanti, we packed up and we moved closer to the Grand Canyon. You'll see that we found another great free camping spot just outside of the park, and then we set up there. We had my VW with us, so we took the smaller car into the park. There's actually not a lot of oversized parking that we found close to the canyon, at least not at the south entrance. I'll also drop a link for the Grand Canyon for more info for you guys. So that was a fun trip, and it was so beautiful. I didn't film it, but we did do part of the hike down into the Grand Canyon. It's quite a long hike if you want to go all the way to the Colorado River and back, and there were signs saying that it's not a good idea to attempt the entire distance in one day. It was very windy while we were there, which is apparently common in May for the area. Anyway, we loved and I definitely love to go back, maybe with better prep for a longer hike. You can schedule burro tours with guides for a price, but we chose to do our own exploring. I definitely recommend putting this on your bucket list of things to see. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.